Okay, so welcome back. We want to just summarize how the challenger will frame his statements, and then with that we do practice some statements first. So I always like this particular graph. So if here we have the level of customers' excitement, and here we have the customer states. This is the neutral, this is negative, and this is positive. And the customer state will be intrigued, drowning, involved, and the last state will be relieved. When you meet a customer for the first time, what will be the customer status against, or the customer state against your offer or your product? Will he be excited or negative?
Depending.
Depending. So if you meet the customer defending.
Yeah.
So if you meet the customer for the first time, he doesn't know you, he doesn't know your products. What will be the state of the customer? He will be neutral. Neutral. The customer doesn't know you. Doesn't need to be resistant, doesn't need. So customer neutral means he doesn't know you. So the very first step will be the warmer. And then this time I will be so brief because we discussed this a long time last time. So number one, when you meet someone, you have to be warmer. Warmer means what? Means you begin you building credibility by reading their minds and demonstrate empathy to them. Okay? So and you want to show that you understand their prospects. So some of the words we will use will be if you have availability, you talk about facility, security, delivery time, training, lost work days, inventory level, freight, air quality, worker compensation, safety, cash flow. This is this discussion when you talk about facility managers. So if you meet a facility manager, you say, if you are like other facility manager I speak to on a daily basis, you are likely facing a lot of pressing issues such as budget cut, freight cost, and just time for inventory, to name a few. So if you offer a program, okay, you need to meet somebody and you need to give a warm statement. What will be your statement? So this example say, if you are selling to facility manager, you will start to say, if you are like other facility manager I speak with on a daily basis, you are likely facing a lot of pressing issues such as budget cuts, freight costs, just-in-time inventory, to name a few. So if I'm a business coach, what can you give it a shot?
Yeah. I would talk right now. Are you facing the same issues like I hear from many business many business owners that they struggle with the current economy and don't see their clients as often as they used to see in this regard. So one of the topics.
Okay. Dee, do you want to give it a shot?
No, hold on. Okay, now I'm concentrated.
Okay,
Sorry.
so again, the example is if you talk to facility managers and you want to be the warmer. So here we'll talk about 6 steps or 6 particular paragraphs or statements. That's when people try to apply this technology for, like this challenger technology, challenger attitude, what he will do. So if I meet facility manager, I say, if you are like the other facility managers I speak on a daily basis, you are likely facing lots of pressing issues such as budget cut, freight cost, just-in-time inventory, to name a few. So what you will tell your client, which will show that you know his problems and relate it to others.
I think in that situation it would be to understand their budget, right?
You have to tell us what you will tell your clients. Anyone wants to try?
I would say,
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
If you need time to think about it, we can move on. We can get back to you.
yeah, sure. I think you got all.
No, not at all, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it will be more like, I understand that what it's happening, like with all the cutoff, it's something I would say that it's affecting a lot of people today. So,
Okay.
and about what will be, so what is your priority at this point, right? Like kind of understanding where you're coming from, like and what exactly you would like to, in my case, right? What exactly you would like to change, or
I recommend one thing to do. You know who end up being salesmen in our classmates and batches from high school? Just people who don't make good marks. People who make good marks are not salesmen, but people who make money are salesmen because they stuck to scripts. So,
oh, yeah.
so if you wanna look at the script, what you can do is you say, if you are like the other, and you have to name your clients. Okay?
Yeah.
I speak to on a daily basis you are likely facing a lot of pressing issues such as, and you need to name 3, to name a few. And I would recommend to try to stick to this script for now till you feel comfort with it. Okay? So who's your ideal client? Who's your ideal client for any new business you want to do or any previous business? Give me just a sample of any clients you can sell any product to.
My other class is
Yeah.
oil and gas company.
Oil and gas.
Yes.
Can you name 3 challenges they have where your solution will solve?
Right now it's I can't. Yeah.
Let me help you. Continuation of business continuity, lots of maintenance time, and
It's
but-
a budget.
the budget cut.
Yeah, budget.
So I would say, if you are like the others oil and gas service company I speak to on a daily basis, you are likely facing a lot of pressing issues such as challenges with business continuity, budget cut, and lots of turnover or lots of downside. Just to name a few. So if somebody doesn't know you, and you stand with him in a meetup or a networking group, and you tell him this, he will look to you in one way. How he will look to you?
But you understand.
You understand and you are related, yes.
You are related, right?
Yeah.
So the task, because we wanna make the course short today, so you can do it at home, and you can connect with me later. The task you need to do here is you need to find challenges words. So some of the challenges words on a daily basis are, in this particular example, is availability, facility security, delivery time, jet inventory, training, lots work days, inventory level, freight, power outage, worker compensations, hard to find item, budget cut, productivity improvement, air quality, safety, cash flow, suppliers out of stock, ordering, hazmat, employment satisfaction, repairing part, OSHA audits, technical support, different brands, production line issues, cross-referencing, test audit, and product quality. So for facility managers, these are challenges. So out of your, I don't like to call it business plan, but out of your one-pager plan, you know who are your customers, and you know what the challenges you are solving. That's right. So if you are like the other individuals I speak to on a daily basis, you are likely facing pressing issues, such hard issues, mobility issues, big belly, loss of energy, negative energy, less of mobility, such to name a few. That's right. This is what you should say. That's right. For a fitness coach. For a business coach, will be, if you are like others, business owners, solopreneur, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it, I give them the exercise that what's the difference between solopreneur, entrepreneur, startup companies, and SME. So if you ask somebody to be solopreneur, and then you call who is here in the room entrepreneur, and then you ask who is here in the room SME, and you ask who's in the room a startup company, the solopreneur most likely has to raise his hand 4 times, but he will not raise his hand more than 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
That's right.
Depends on what he
So-
identifies himself with.
So these examples, like, you know, so you have to be flexible here. So if somebody will call himself, what's the difference between solopreneur and the business consultant? Majority of business consultants are one-man companies, right? One-man show, that's right. So what's the difference between, we had discussion yesterday about somebody doing working in oil and gas under consultancy companies because liability issues they have. Is he an employee or a consultant? And why he does not classify himself as entrepreneur? And why he does not classify himself as he owns a small business? Okay? So whatever words you understand this client will use, you need to use it. But you need to be ready with challenging words which describe the different challenges where your program, where your offer as a product or service will fit. Okay? If you are in the consultation area, it should be making money or reducing or losing money. So you have a challenge of making more money, or you have a challenge of losing more money than or making losses. It should be personal relationship, or be a better person, or have the right mindset, and it should be building relationship and dating. These are the 3 high paid challenges which people pay for it to change their lives. So this is the first paragraph. What I would do if I don't feel comfort with coming with my own, is you should be able to write here your ideal clients. You should be able to write at least 3 challenges. You should have a bucket of many, and keep practicing it. And after you practice it for like 10-20 times, just don't remember it. You will come up with the own word. Like the verbiage does not need to be exactly the same. It's okay to vary a little bit, but make sure, because when you talk about daily basis, it means what?
You're active. You're out there.
You are active. You are out there prospecting.
Mhm.
Does this mean you sold anybody anything?
No.
This particular statement? Okay. So early on, when you didn't have any clients yet to give you testimonial, this is still high integrity statement. Now someone will come and say, but you know what? I don't talk daily basis to these people. Find friends and people who you know they will not buy from you, but they are good friends of you, and start to call them on a daily basis and discuss with them these issues. As a matter of fact, you should actually practice these statements on your friends who are in this customer category, even if they will not buy from you. You should get the challenges from your network. You should sit and ask, like, what is your challenges? I know everybody will tell you, I need more clients, I need high paid clients, I need to reduce operational costs. Everybody will say this, right? But if you want to be more specific, you should be asking. So if you know, when you do prospecting and you try to keep talking on almost daily basis, so when you tell this in front of real customers, you will have a high level of integrity. Okay? And this is the warmer. Remember when we said you should be able to teach. So here you are teaching what? Their challenges. I'm telling you what is the challenges you have. That's right.
That's right.
So this stuff is not science, is not art. Good salespeople will just memorize these statements and keep practicing it. And the minute you keep practicing it, it will connect from your heart.
Mhm.
It will become part of your own words. Okay? If you have kids, this is also another way you can use it to connect with your kids. So when they come back from school, you can say, yeah, like we talk every day, so you have these challenges today in the school, and you name them. So oh, how did you know? Now we can open them to tell you what happened in school, because majority of the kids will not accept to talk about the school.
Yeah.
But you will find the verbiage is very close. Okay?
It also opens up already this like caring about the situation.
Mhm.
Have you seen this script before? Okay.
No, I didn't see it.
If you walk to, we used to have Future Shop,
Mm-hmm.
and if you remember when you go stand in Future Shop in front of the TV, the guy will come to you and say, "Oh, so you are today shopping for a TV." And then he will start to talk about challenges in the new TV. There are so many choices and so many technical words. And this script, we used to listen to similar scripts, and he will say in the exact verbiage, and you are like many of the customers who come here every day, wandering among all of these TVs, you don't know which one. Let me show you. Okay? If you sell cars, I always say, if you start your life selling cars, you most likely will end up in Honda or Toyota university or college, where they teach you how to sell cars. And if you know anybody who will start to sell cars, you will find out that they will give him 3 to 4 pages of scripts.
Mhm.
This is what you will tell the customers. When you go to McDonald's, this is what they give you in the training.
Well, everywhere. 'Cause
Everywhere.
that it sells, they give you-
Unfortunately, we as an expert, subject matter expert, trying to sell our services, we don't know that. Okay?
Yes, we don't.
So, so this is what. So. The next one, we call about it. Okay. The next one is the reframe. So the next step will be the reframe. Reframe means first reframe of unrecognized problems, needs, or assumption. So you basically reposition, connect solve the challenges to a bigger problem or opportunity that had not previously considered. Build credibility and show your prospects your understanding of their challenges. This serves as introduction to your pitch. So one of the good examples I always have is when somebody comes to me and say we could not run the business and the business is losing money. I said, yeah, because you never really consider looking at your pro forma or your interim financial statements. You don't have cash flow projections. So you don't know what will happen. So I basically reframe them. I know for Marcel, the way he reframed it, because the way whatever he's selling in particular will be that your personal mindset or your personal challenge, your personal barrier will stop. That's right. Will create the resistance between you and the change. Majority of the time when I talk to people who are trying to find work and trying to whine and cry about no job outside, I say, yeah, you didn't try. Why you even want to find a job? Why don't try your own business? It's all inside your mindset. I'm trying just to reframe that the problem is not what you are looking for. The problem is hidden elsewhere. Many of the consultants we talk to, when they talk about execution, so you tell them, yeah, I could not close these sales and I have trouble with my business. Yeah, because you have a problem with your execution. You don't have sales closures. You cannot close a sale. So this reframing, what it will do, it will increase the enthusiasm about the customer, interest about your service, and it will drawing him inside your offer. Now he will listen. That's right. Dee will tell individuals the problem is you don't consider what you put in your body and how you practice on a daily basis. That's why you have these problems. So you say, I feel tired. Yeah, because you eat the wrong stuff. No, I feel that because I didn't sleep. No, you didn't eat the wrong stuff. So this is how she reframes it. That's right?
Yeah.
So this is a way to reframe. So
you know me too much.
no, I know your business. So the message which is on the same example it says is, with strategic concerns rising and the constant need to firefight outage and repairs, we have observed that many facility managers inadvertently compound a problem that they think that's another cost of doing business, which is unplanned purchases. Through our work with other organizations, we would eliminate that on an average of 40% of your purchases are unplanned. So when he say the problem they have is rising and the constant need to firefight an outage and repair, what they do is they do an unplanned purchases. So they don't have suppliers for it. And we found out that 40% of purchases are made are unplanned. So you don't have suppliers, you don't have models, you just basically have a problem you're trying to fix. And when you try to fix this problem, what will happen? You are not buying one, you are buying three. You'll end up having this orphan product in your inventory collecting dust which you don't use. And because these people are solving by selling a different supply chain management program. Okay? So if I want to stick to script, the script would be with whatever you can say concern rising and a constant need to we observed that many that through our or my work with others, I would estimate 40%, a percentage of
Through over.
okay. So with strategic concerns rising and constant need to, if we seek to a business consultant to create and get more clients, we observe that many business owners that spend more time on networking and without knowing the techniques, and through my work with others, I would estimate that 90% of the business owners are on the street looking for customers and they don't close any. So you're trying to reframe the problem into what? Into what you can solve.
I would the last
I would estimate, and you should have a percentage, you should have here a number. So everybody looking for a job. So I say with the current market concerns rising and constant need to find jobs, I observe that many of unemployed that apply for a job through the websites. Through my work with others, I would like to estimate like 99% of them, they don't get jobs because they don't have online profiles. So this is a second paragraph. In this paragraph, what you need to do? You need to reframe, you need to quantify the problem, and you give more details. So people will say, how do you know? For me, I'm using this, no, I'm not stick to this script anymore, because after some times you will understand the logic. So if I meet someone, I want to recruit him to my work, I will talk always about, you know how many, on the average job right now, there is 2,000 CV. There's actually 200 CVs will be applied within the first 2 hours. By third day, it be 2,000 application, and they only consider the first 15 to 45 applications to be examined. Which means if you don't apply within the first half an hour of announcing the job, you have no chance for your CV to be considered for the job. I was talking to somebody got hired by City of Calgary the other day, and they hired 2 out of 680 screened CV, or 682. And interestingly enough, the 2 they hired are part-time employees in the same job. Okay? Because I asked her, how did you nail a job in City of Calgary? She said, I used to sub in and work under placement company for 6 years. And I was only on call. They got me when they need me. And I built a relationship over there. So I said, do you know how many have been applied for this job? She said, yeah, 682 or 687, 680 plus. And they hired 2. So she was so proud that she has the interview, and they called for interview out of 682. And this is how the market competitive right now.
Oh yeah, I have experience with this. Right
Okay.
now.
So if you try to help clients in a specific way, you need to be able to illustrate. Like if you are going for a job, people will ask you, so why you want to come here? So you should be able to say, like, based on my work, based on my knowledge, I know that you guys are blah blah blah. Same script, give me a similar script will work. Okay? So remember we talk about a challenger sales, a guy who has the capability of teaching his clients their problems and challenging them on their own understanding of what? Of the dynamic of their business. Okay? So it's very important here to have what?
A number.
To have a number. It's very important. And the number should be something in the 90s, like the more the number is, the more it's impressive. Okay? Any questions? Okay. So when you, the principle we run onto it is when you move from warmers to reframing, the excitement will start to be increased into the prospects, because now he will look and say, yeah, you know, I didn't think about this stuff. Oh, this guy knows. That's right. You know your material. You know what you are offering. So his excitement will increase. That's why these curves look like this. You go from warmers to reframing. And then after that, you talk about the rational drowning. And the rational drowning means you gradually intensification of the problem, both in degree and closeness to the customer. So you try to make the problem intense within the customer's parameters and need, because now we try to make it rational to the customer. Okay? So they say as many as 75% of unplanned purchases are unique. One-time purchases, these costs you find the item, so time and opportunity cost, but also in managing the various supplier you have to deal with to make this one-time purchase. Let me take an example. A $17 fan, for this one purchase, you may incur as much as $100 in process cost. So to buy a $17 fan, you spend $100 for process cost, including inventory selection and ordering and receipt and payment. So when you try to rationalize it to the customer, you start to talk about more info nuggets, and you start to get the acceptance for the customer is this is his problem. So if you want to talk about business coach, what you would say? Say as many as of maybe 75 of business owners are trying to do everything themselves. They don't consider the cost and the time to be able to learn and do stuff yourself. They should be able to delegate. Let me explain to you one example. If you are trying to write a proposal for a grant for $30,000, you may spend more hours to learn what the grant about and how you report. That will cost you about $55,000 to $60,000 to apply and report on a $30,000 grant. Is this a good use of your time? Now he's drawn, right? The other way you can say, if you run the restaurant, for example, it will cost you 3 hours to serve the clients, while you can basically hire somebody for minimum wage of $12 or whatever minimum wage here. Let's call it $15 for $45 for 3 hours, and you can start to build the business and increase the exposure where you get more clients instead of serving this client. So if you hire somebody for $45, in the same time you spend by doing more marketing on your product, on your in the restaurant, you may have 2 more tables, and each table is $50. Average income, which means $100 in your pocket. You pay somebody $45 to serve the table, and you make a profit of $55. And this is what usually people don't understand. Same thing as you're trying to find a job. Okay, let's try to write a book, let's try to write blogs, let's try to have a website. I can tell you the same. Instead of you trying to spend all of this time trying to figure out what you want to do, let's put your information out. And you know what? Instead of you trying to withdraw your income, when you have this information out in 2 to 3 months, you will be able to build a relationship. So you can be, you should be able to make it rational toward your clients. Okay? So,
No, all good.
so let's just go in order. So, number 3, it can be as many as, and you can talk about the clients. These costs you to, and you can say it is, let's take an example. And you just choose the example. Remember, clients will pay us money for what? For one of 3 things. Making more money, be a better person, have a relationship and dating. That's it. Clients don't pay money for anything else.
First one?
Making more money,
Yes.
being better person, relationship and dating. So what do you mean? It means that if you show me how to reduce my cost, you help me making more money, that's right? If you show me how you run my operation more effectively, more efficiently, it means what? Helping me making more money. If you show me that you can make my workplace better environment and my employee will increase their high productivity, you help me to create a better person location, and you also help me making more money. People will not come to you because you know the stuff. People will not come to you because you have a technical skills. People will come to you for one of these 3 reasons. That's it. If you can serve them in 1 or 2 markets, you should be able to get their business. If I show you how to run your business or how to establish a business and make more money and have less stress on the future, it's not I'm showing you how to run business. There is no value in running business. So this is how the example should be. The problem is when we go around, we find people, okay, so what you do? I'm project manager. Oh, I'm a PMP. PMP. Then what? What do you do for me? And what we also notice is when you hang around people, and because people are also trying to draw you down to their level. So if you come and say, I'm a project management engineer in oil companies and I help my company to get maybe produce like 20% more of a well, or whatever. I will increase this. I increase the safety of a location and I made them couple of thousand days accident free, for example, or something like this. People will say, why you show off? Just say, man, you are an oil and gas engineer. You know why? Because usually everybody in the field has to be in the same level. The minute anybody will start to show high, to rise high, everybody's job to get him down to their comfort level and the comfort zone. You know why? Because we'll be uncomfort if we start talking your way. So why you try to push us and lead us to talk in this way? I talk to so many people, and I seen potential in so many businesses, and potential, which is something I did back in my life, or I help somebody or help a client doing it in their life, and there's like almost A, B, C, D, E, F, just steps you take it, my friend, and you will end up function of how much the window opportunity is there, but you will end up in a better situation for sure. You will make more money. We don't know how much, but you will make it. And they have all the ingredients, but they hang around with their wives, and they like the whining tables. They like to complain about the economy. For the last few months, when I go to any of these meetings, I take the lead, and I never let the lead on the table to go away. It's not I'm trying to shut everybody down, but I don't want to hear about any complaints about the market, because it doesn't have value. Like, we sit and complain, then what?
You're not changing anything.
You're not changing anything. Instead of we complain, let's get our laptops and each one review our LinkedIn profile to each other. Let's get our phones and see who contact we can help each other. Like, just take my phone and give me your phone and let me read through your contact. It may be somebody I can sell my solution, or I can apply. But we don't do that. We used to do it. Sit and say, oh, the market is low. I heard these guys have been fired. You know what? This is laid off. It's okay.
Drink negative air.
When you be laying it off is a different opportunity. It gives you the time that you may switch to do something which is you always like to do, but you may not be having the courage to lay yourself off your work. But people don't see it like this. So that's why sometimes you may hear about me in the recent stuff in the community. I go in sometimes, and when I start to sense this laying off and energy coming, I dominate the whole discussion. I dominate it. Nobody's allowed to talk without my permission, and I enforce everybody to talk in a positive stuff, from Trump or no Trump to any positive things on the other
If
side.
you start talking about Trump, I take control.
No, but this is the kind of thing. So when you stand and say the third statement, and it can be more than one statement, but just as a starting point, you need to give an example. You need to give a quantification example. You need to map it to the client, because now what you are doing, you are telling him, in the very beginning, I talked to so many like you guys, I'm helping you, I'm serving your market. Why didn't you come to talk to me before? And I know your problems. There's common problems in the market. Then I'm reframing the problem to be what I can solve. So it will be for me a business process, a brand issue, an exposure issue. Like when someone talk about, and we always talk about this when we say that I have these skills, but nobody really know. I went to my CV does not show it. So many of us having experience, having skill sets, they don't show it. What about trying to lead the way in a different way? Why you don't just do these pulses, these e-books, these white papers, to be able to show your potential employers, if you want to go back, or your potential client, that you are the expert. I work with architects and builders who they rewrite the code. They rewrite the Alberta building code. They did not invent the code. But every time they have a new code, what these guys will do? Will write an article. The new regulation. They add regulation 1, which means that regulation. Where do they get the information from? Copy and paste from the code. Lawyers are doing it all the time. When there is a new court decision which is significant, they will write on it white paper. If you count the number of words they put against the number of words they borrowed, it's very minimal. There's actually a law firm like Basters. They actually go and get the inventory, and they say last month these are the cases which the decisions came through the system. There is one spot available to everybody online where you can say sort by date this particular month. And what these guys are doing is they just copy the HTML, they paste it in a newsletter. That's it. When you go search for any decision in like trademarks or engineering decisions or stuff like that, you will always be on their website. So if you want to hire somebody, who will you hire? You will consider hiring from them, that's right? Because they know what's happening in the court systems, right? Okay? How long will it take them to do such a thing?
Minutes.
Let's call it a couple of hours. 1 day a month. Why is if you are working as engineer or safety or in any area with codes, why you are not monitoring the codes to make sure you tell everybody that you are current in the new environmental regulations? So after 1 or 2 years of not finding a job, if you really apply, people will not look at you as rusty. Oh, this guy, you know what? The discussions I had in the energy board last week. This guy has it in his on his LinkedIn profile. He commented on it. It means what? You are following your industry trend, and not only reading it, you are actually reporting on it. If you follow some of the influential people in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn used to have influential status and they stopped doing it, there are lots of individuals who basically they comment on currency exchange, on decisions, and all what they write in their pieces are public knowledge. You can read it elsewhere. But when you look at his profile, what do you think about him? He is the expert.
Yep, very educated.
Okay. If this does make sense to you and you did not apply it before, please go back and try to apply it. And if you have trouble in the technology, let me know and I will work with you on the technologies, because the technology is the easiest. Facebook and LinkedIn and all this social media, to become free for us like that, the equivalent for it is to rent airtime on CNN, is to produce $25,000 a minute of advertising. It costs about, on the average, $25,000 a minute to produce on CNN. And you have to block the airtime, you have to buy it. Now when you have live, Facebook Live, so if you go around professional lunches, if you go around conferences, you should be able to use this live. Just like, now I'm here now in this particular forums and I'm so excited going inside to have lunch and feed my brain with the knowledge from the panel. After the event, very simple, another live for 1 or 2 minutes. There is also another thing which has helped us in this particular market is, in the past you used to have professionally produced videos. Nowadays, because of the social media, it becomes more convincing when you don't have 2 professionally produced videos, which is homemade videos. People now start to connect with it more because now it's not salesy. So I have friends and customers when they go out to conferences, to events, and I do have individuals who just know about an event and they comment on it on their blogs. Oh, this event happening in this area, and they are in Calgary, but this event happening like Lisbon and or like Nice, and they put like 4 paragraphs on it. So when you try to map it to the customer problems, think about it also. If you want to go for a job, you should be able to map it to the potential employers. Okay? The third step, so as you see that the excitement of the prospects will be able to reduce, because you start to talk now about new problems. You try to rationalize the problem to him. Then you will have what we call it here emotional impact. So in the emotional impact, it's a psychological feature of the problem or the presence in the individual's workflow which humanize the problem. So the problem has to be related to him. You have to give him a negative emotional impact about the problem. Who cares that suppliers will just make one purchase order? So to give you an example here, you say, you know this story right. An HVAC fan break down in an executive office on the hottest day of summer. You send someone to go to the closest store, but naturally they don't have the right size. She So he goes to another store, then doesn't have any. Finally, he goes to a supplier on the other side of town, and they have what you need. That is such a pain in the neck. He decides to buy 3 just in case. You fix the executive fan and the extra 2 sitting in a storage room, taking a space, gathering dust, and eventually become obsolete. Sometimes we try to make it hard and say when you have an executive office problem and you don't fix it quickly, you'll be fired. So you need to run as a squirrel around town to figure out how you solve the problem. And sometimes you call the consultants, and the consultants are not available. So this will become a serious problem. And if you don't find the solution right away, what you will do? So this is a kind of text or wording which will get them into an emotional impact. Okay? Are you following?
Oh yes.
So
I want to ask you something. In the X, what is the first?
I will come back to it.
Okay.
I'll come back to it.
I'll try to read it.
So the fourth element in the message when you meet somebody will be you know this story, right? And then you tell the story. Okay? Remember, when you tell the story is 3 elements. It's a pain point or pain points. It's a defining moment, and there's an outcome or happy outcome. So the story here is what? The story is the executive breakdown, and somebody goes to a store 1, store 2, cannot find it. And finally, they found on the other side of the town the right size. So this is a defining moment. The happy outcome is they decide to buy 3. One will be installed and never break again, and the other 2 will be collecting dust and becomes obsolete, which means you lost money, you lost time, you lost so many things. So when you say you know this story or do you know this story, right? What you get from them? Affirmation. That this is their personal problem. When I ask you, do you relate? Do you agree? And you knock your head, I got in your unconscious mind an affirmation and acceptance that this problem either yours currently or it's perceived to happen in the future. Okay? If you are overwhelmed, the information is not too much overwhelming. There are steps. It just needs to have the time. So when you start to network with people for prospecting, as employers or as a client or as finding a new job, you need to craft these messages. The problem we have as subject matter experts who never did this job before, we're always shy of trying it out. So if you join our bi-weekly meetings, everybody around the table will actually is aware of these sequences and they practice them. And once you start to practice them with 7 or 8 here, the minute you start to go out, it will take you a little bit of courage, but you should start to practice them. Practice them with your family, practice them with everybody around you. After some time, it will become a natural communication way. But people say, no, we are technical. Oh, yeah, sorry. The high performer in any technical company is who? Is the guy who meets the company quarter objectives, which is not technical. It's financial and revenue income. That's it. So sometimes we spend time on stuff irrelevant to our business, because we don't have we don't understand how the board sees the company.
Yes.
That's right. Do you agree on this?
I agree, totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
And I always say, if everybody is fired, there's still some people that are not laid off. So why these people are not laid off is there, and there are people who are laid off. Most likely the people who are not laid off, they understand the strategic view of the company and they were able to articulate it better. So they feel lower risk having them because they run to the main goal. The sad point of the story, that if you are very competent technically and you only focus on doing the technical work right, you will not be having the job. Because they need the guys who can understand and align the problems. And this is the sad part of the story. That people who are technically fit are not employed. But people who understand the perception and can do a little bit of performance, they are the unemployed. And we see it all the time. People are buying all the time wrong programs. And they never perform. People are paying so much money for programs that they don't have the same value of what we provide. Because the same problem. Okay? Any questions? Can you think about an example? If we don't have crunch of time, we usually stop and ask you to write an example, because the best outcome of this particular, the reason for us to have this one, because it's all recorded, you can access them online. But the value of being in one table is each one should be able to craft a message, and we should break for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. You can craft your message and then you can share it. But unfortunately, because we want we want to just make sure you had the right to break a specific point, we will not have enough time. So please try to figure out your story. For people in the program, we meet here every other week. So
We
Well-
can do that for the next Saturday session.
Yeah.
For the work on session,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
exchange, like do this as
yeah,
homework.
homework. Yeah. But you need to have these examples. Now, I always ask, like, so how many examples do I need? How many customers do you know? How many clients? How many potential clients have you have? In this particular page over there are 4 types. So I need to know I need how many examples here? At least 4. And each one I will use when I meet specific clients. Much better to have at least 2 examples for each client, because you can be able to know exactly what this guy, where is his role, or where he stands, and you give the examples. So, for example, on a business coaching perspective, we can talk about small company less than 1 year, company in the 2nd year, and the company on a growing phase, and we can have different examples for them, so we can resonate with them. If you don't believe in this stuff, please try to go to during the weekend to a car dealer sales location. Go to a car dealer shop and give enough time to the sales guy and listen to the script. Don't buy a car because you are not there for a shopping car, but act as if you are shopping a car, and then go to the other dealership across the street and listen to what will happen with you if you show interest.
Just try to get a gym membership and you will get the same. Like seriously, it is the
Yeah.
script. It's everywhere. Like it doesn't
Okay.
really matter where you go. Like
Should that's good.
One guy told me one time, "Oh, after all of these years, I will start to memorize the script. I'm not in school anymore." This can be the way. If you have been trying to do it in your ways for a long time, it did not work. This might be the way out. If you try this stuff for a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, figure out what will be the reaction of people around you, and if you get phone calls or not, if you get follow up or not. Okay?
Right.
So what's supposed logically to happen here is you will be able to provide the emotional, which is the personalized. Then what should happen after that is you will be able to provide a value which basically your new way to solve the problem. So the new way, it's a new framework for addressing the problem implicitly, tied to the supplier value proposition. So when I talk about the new way is to go to do the outreach, is to build your personal brand, is to build a brand. You maximize, you have different strategies for social media. You use your own time to write and share with your community what good you are and how strong you are technically, and tell them and send this information out. I meet so many people and everybody just top secret. I'm a project engineer. I'm a oil and gas. I work for oil and gas. So I'm not sure what are you what in oil and gas?
I have the oil.
No, I'm not sure. How many did you meet and they have this statement? I work for I work. I'm an oil and gas engineer. What do you mean? Like, are you the sponge for what? Like what? And if you go to other networking events, you will have the same. I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant for what? There's only one lady who she said, I'm accountant for truck drivers, and we can help them comply with the tax act across of different provinces based on their travel time. We have a system for that. She was the only different accountant I ever seen in my life. But everyone say, oh, no, what are you doing, man? Oh, I'm an accountant, and he feels shy.
Yeah.
The other guy will say, I'm a realtor, and he feels shy. You'll even hear it in his voice that says goes down. So why you didn't tell us? I'm an accountant. I work with a small business owner reducing their taxes by using innovative accounting system. I know all of them, they use QuickBooks at the end of the day, but where is the wow factor? Why you engage me in the discussion against the other party?
There's this girl I know, and I'm sure you guys know her, right? I was in this networking meeting, and she said, I really want to make insurance sexy again. When she said that, I was laughing because it is different, right? It is a different statement that she's giving. Like, obviously, she's offering like insurance, right? But it's just a way of being catchy and make it that attractive, because obviously insurance can be boring and annoying because everybody's a financial advisor today, right? So I mean, I think those are the things that we can get better at, and how we're presenting ourselves, right?
There is a good friend of mine. I hope she does not see this video, because she works she's an insurance broker, and she never asks more than, so you guys have insurance? Do you want to reduce your money or your pay? It never intrigued us to call her back. Like, I meet her almost on a weekly basis in different events, but it never intrigued me to talk to her to see what even potential she can bring, because it's not intriguing. She's just an insurance. She's a very senior insurance with one of the big companies. There are actually some of the community now on Facebook groups. They use these techniques because there's somebody in particular who shares every week stories about what's happening with insurance, and some people having trouble with insurance, and information about what different types of car insurance. I'm not sure if you are following the different groups we have, and you notice this particular individual, and he shares like in 7 or 8 groups every weekend. He's using this technique. He's telling us online what is the problems. And okay, so the last step here will be you should be able to provide your solution and implementation map. So you say you map of suppliers of service or solution, link it back to the key teaching point highlight in the path of the information. So you basically demonstrate that's how you position the best one out there and how you can fit the new way a prospect should think about their business. Okay? So if just I want to close this one and then I will discuss it in a different way. So if I want to look at the messages will be so message 5 and 6, they will say like many companies are saving thousands of dollars a year by eliminating unplanned purchases. So he is giving here the value. Thereby reducing inventory costs, using employees' time more efficiently, and aggregating spending on parts and repairs. At his company Garnier, we have more SKUs than anyone else. We have the most extensive distribution network in the industry. 2 branches are within 15 miles of your operation. So he knows where is your operation. We save you money through scalable purchasing and save time since we can get parts and supplies to you so quickly. So this will show the demonstration. So an example for that, you should be able to say many customers or companies are saving, and you give an example of the saving, and then you say my service provides, and you start to describe the implementation map of your service and what is the advantage of the service, what's make you unique, what's give you the wow factor. You see you remember the discussion about the wow factor? This is here where you will tie it out. Okay?
Makes sense.
Questions?
So you are driving him up to your side first, that you understand his business, and then give him the positive attitude of your service, and show him the misery he is living with his problem and negative energy, and take him up that you are the solution for his problems, that you will solve his problem and make his life better.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And if you remember the me only, me special, me too, you must be here me only. You must. There is no value in life in working in a me too or me special businesses. It must be a way that you can do the me only solution. I'm the only guy who provides this. And in me only is funny because there are some realtors, for example, they give you free dinner tickets to talk about the deal with your wife. There are some realtors who will give you a free daycare or babysitting for your kids while you go around with houses. They try to establish the me only solution. So they try to give you, like, people are trying to be creative on how they provide solutions and services which is me only, not me too, not me special. Because if you are in a me only, you can name your price. You can name your price. Nobody can charge your prices. If you are me too, you are competing against prices. You have a cap. Everybody has a cap. I call the taxi. All the taxis are the same price. That's right? But the limousine is different. What's the difference between the limousine and taxi driver? Other than these cars are white and blue, white and yellow in Calgary, while the other one are black. What's the difference?
Service.
The head.
The head.
the
No, like-
service experience.
Like when you think about it, like why do you pay more money for limousines than taxis for the same ride?
Because you have a experience.
You have the experience,
That it's taking you like a celebrity.
you know.
And you don't look like a celebrity in a taxi cab.
Your prestige in the car.
You see?
Yeah.
Which is
It's experience.
so actually some of the cars are more convenient. Some of the taxis are more convenient. Like if you have like big family, you have big luggages, they give you this mini van kind of like bigger taxi. It's actually more comfort and more and much bigger than the small black limousine. So these are kind of things like when you walk out from today, you need to think about this stuff about you. If you are looking, and I'm always trying to say like, even if you are looking for a job, what makes you unique that you are the only ones they can hire? Most likely is your personal experience, which you don't articulate it anywhere. But people will come and say, yeah, you know what, I know Six Sigma, I know Agile, I know, I'm just running out of methods, and that's it. But if you come and say, yeah, you know, I use Six Sigma to implement 1, 2, 3 and achieve my plan, so you are saying that much more. You are not only saying that you know, you have skills of Six Sigma, you're saying how to use it. It's much better if you say, and I wrote a book on the on the efficiency of Six Sigma in this particular domain. People will, what? You actually wrote a book on Six Sigma methodology? So yes. They open the book, they will find the same basic information with just a case study on the field which is you take it. This takes you to the next level. The problem is the next level does not have a higher demand. Like remember when they told us about the PhD, they say you shouldn't have a PhD because you will not have jobs.
Yes.
You will be overqualified. Yes, you don't have a job for a couple of $100,000, but there are thousands of jobs for $100,000 at the master level. So which job you want to get? The 200 or the 100?
Depends on the.
This is. I was told the same. Like I remember
How
when.
soon you need a job.
No. The problem is really what is they say overqualified. I asked myself, who is the qualified and who determined who is the qualified? Because I worked in the market and found the persons who they say qualified, they under level. But people say it is qualified and overqualified just to put themselves, because the person who say you are overqualified for 2,000, he takes 250,000 and he has high school. Believe me, because the top manager only has high school. So he doesn't want someone, he says overqualified. What's the mean? Are you qualified?
What it means is that person knows how to sell himself.
Yeah.
Also, no. Generally, he didn't sell himself. Someone put him in.
No, he sold himself
he sold
to this one.
himself.
To this
he
one.
sold himself
One.
to put himself in that spot, even
He doesn't
just to
worth
be
it.
in front of the right person to actually give him that position.
Maybe.
He had to sell himself, right? Because that's how it's.
So I
That's
went.
how it always works.
I
right?
went back. It was 1999. I went back to my mentor at the time, and I used to work at Panasonic Research Lab, and I had a good job, an excellent job offer, being the summer internship. So I went to my supervisor. He used to be my master supervisor, and he used to work in another group at Bentel at the time. And I asked him. I said, "So I decided to quit the PhD. I have now a job, and I will be one of you guys at Bentel." He looked at me. He said, "No." What do you mean? I have a job, man, in the largest company in an area, which is the company I developed the patent for them on the document machines. I said, "No, you spend one semester in your PhD and you'll be full if you don't finish." Who cares about 4 years? What's the value of a PhD? And I started like everybody, like I'm just so close. So I found him telling me something very interesting. He said, the PhD, what's the value of PhD? Do you understand? Do you know what's the value of a PhD?
Myself, I mean.
Like, what is,
The
what
knowledge,
vi-
the knowledge, I think the knowledge.
No,
Like,
the
this is what
method of
this is
thinking
the
itself.
Yes.
I think
The PhD, what he told me, which I believe it was true, what PhD demonstrate is you are giving a problem, you have methodology or critical thinking or analysis path and solution, and you take this problem through this scientific thinking and get into a solution, and this solution is approved by your peers. So all what the PhD works means that you are somebody who are willing to take over a more complex problem, and he should be able to work it out, to solve it, to find solution, methodology, whatever, to drive into a solution which is accepted by your own peers within this market. And that's why they asked me to publish 2 papers. And I will not publish it, man. I will go. You can't. Because the minute you have the 2 papers accepted and published in journals, what does it mean? Your peers accepted your work. You simplify your PhD defense. They cannot challenge you on the idea now. They cannot challenge you on the methodology. They only can challenge you on the representation and amount of data you have in your writing. Because there are outside examiners who accepted your publication in the highly regarded journals of your career, of your niche. But we don't know. We said we go to a PhD and people go and say, what? And then he told me that the PhD is like a wall. The minute you have the PhD, you will have a hole in the wall. We cannot tell you what's behind the wall, but it's beautiful and much better than what you have right now. Because that's why they hide it with a wall. Will they hide ugly stuff from you? No. They will try to hide the stuff which you cannot reach. And while you dig your way through the hole, the life on the other side is completely different and much better. But we cannot tell you how much is better. You will find it for yourself. So when he gave me these 2 examples, and then I went back and said, you know what? He has right. I went back to my supervisor. I said, would you mind extending my offer for a year? So they said yes. So they give me an extension. So I said, I will go try to finish as much as I can. I will come again next summer and try to finish the last part remotely. This was the plan. But unfortunately, in March, they shut down the whole center. Okay, so, but this is the stuff which is, I always see. So if somebody would say a PhD in this area is very qualified or overqualified, is completely wrong.
And he talks overqualified is the most important area in the industry.
Yeah.
For example, and they say this, and when I discuss with them, I don't find them even he doesn't have PMP. He doesn't have the most simplified things that shows that he studied he read a book he just know what is the process and something everyday work that anyone can know. So and those are the people who take decisions, and for this reason you find great deaths and great losses, and they manage people and they try to show themselves experts and say who is qualified and who is overqualified without even saying what is the minimum level that you should have.
So this is some of the point discussions, like when people come and talk about this particular credential. So I don't know. So this is the past. So if you try this on a story, okay, sorry. So when we talk about having blogs or having pulses or having like articles, right? Just few articles. This is the same component on any article you write. Yes, because you are doing the articles for what? To show that you are knowledgeable in the market. You reframe or you make it a simple problems. You go and create a rational drawing. You make it emotional impact on the readers, and then you provide a solution and you give your own solution, and you have a call to action at the end. So for us, writing blogs or writing paragraphs are not, it's just a template. You just basically fill information on it, because this is the way. It's not a story. It's not the fly story. You know the fly story? You know this expression?
No.
There is a fly which is flying by you, and they are telling it her story, which is keep repeating details, repeating spots for unnecessary. Just the fly is flying, you know?
Redundant.
Redundant. So, and this is the problem, is when we sit and talk about something in even with a group of friends, I sometimes get lost. Sometimes the guys were so boring. Why all these details? And all of them are the same tone, and they keep talking and talking. And out of being polite, you just wanna keep quiet, listen. And at a certain point, yeah, you feel bored. Many of the time, all the time, we feel bored. Why we feel bored? Because people don't understand. Okay? Is this useful?
Very useful.
Do you wanna get more? You wanna spend more on this?
No, okay.
No, I can spend more, but I can explain to you, because all of these stuff are like, we call it like 7 levels. So this is level 1. How to make it more professional, how to take it to the next level, how to take it to the next level. So one of the next levels is, we talk about what do you mean with reframe. So reframe means one of two things.
I should have 5 minutes.
Okay, so let's have a 5 minute break.
Okay.